The Second World War, a conflagration so devastating it left an indelible scar on humanity. But what if, in some counterfactual twist of fate, the Allied powers had faltered and Hitler's Third Reich had emerged victorious? What would our world look like under Nazi tyranny? This video will examine 7 shocking ways the world would be different if the unthinkable had come to pass. Imagine a world draped in swastikas. The jackboot crushing the cobblestones of Paris, not in a fleeting moment of occupation, but as a permanent fixture. Picture the Houses of Parliament not as a symbol of democratic ideals, but draped in the banners of the Third Reich. From the rubble of war, puppet governments, mirroring the will of Berlin, would have arisen. Nations, once proud and independent, would be forced to their knees, their destinies dictated by the whims of a tyrannical few. The chilling efficiency of the Gestapo, the dreaded secret police, would become the model for countless imitators, ensuring that dissent, even a whisper, would be met with swift and brutal retribution. Imagine the vibrant tapestry of human culture, woven over millennia, systematically unravelled thread by thread. The echoes of laughter in the Jewish quarter silenced, the vibrant rhythms of jazz deemed degenerate music banished. The pursuit of scientific knowledge twisted to serve the warped agenda of racial purity. Monuments, libraries, museums, repositories of the collective wisdom and heritage of countless generations would be plundered, destroyed, or twisted to fit the narrative of Aryan supremacy. The very diversity that enriches our human story, the kaleidoscope of languages, traditions, and beliefs, would be sacrificed on the altar of Nazi uniformity. Imagine a world stripped bare, drained of its colour, its vibrancy, its soul. This is the desolate landscape of a world where the Nazi ideology is allowed to flourish unchecked. The relentless march of scientific progress, the engine of human ingenuity, would grind to a halt under the suffocating grip of Nazi ideology. Imagine a world where the pursuit of knowledge is shackled by the constraints of racial purity and military dominance. Fields of study deemed incompatible with Nazi ideology, from theoretical physics to modern art, would be suppressed, their practitioners silenced or worse. Universities, once bastions of free thought and intellectual exploration, would be transformed into factories of indoctrination, churning out generations steeped in the twisted worldview of the Third Reich. The quest for scientific truth, the very foundation of human progress, would be sacrificed on the altar of Nazi ideology, its boundless potential forever stunted. In this grim alternate timeline, the world groans under the weight of Nazi economic exploitation. Imagine a vast swathe of the globe, from the resource-rich lands of Eastern Europe to the oil fields of the Middle East, transformed into a vast engine powering the Nazi war machine. The industries of conquered nations, stripped bare and repurposed, would churn out weapons and munitions, fueling an endless cycle of conquest and oppression. Millions would be forced into slave labour, their lives reduced to mere cogs in the Nazi economic machine. The once bustling cities of Europe, their economies gutted, would become grim testaments to the insatiable greed of the Third Reich. In this fractured reality, the United Nations, that beacon of hope born from the ashes of World War II, would never come to be. The very notion of international cooperation, of nations working together to address shared challenges, would be unthinkable in a world dominated by Nazi ideology. Instead of a rules-based order, imagine a world teetering on a knife's edge, where disputes are settled not through diplomacy, but through brute force. Regional conflicts, fueled by the embers of resentment and the pursuit of power, would erupt with alarming regularity. The absence of a global peacekeeping body, coupled with the ever-present threat of Nazi aggression, would create a climate of perpetual instability, a powder keg waiting for a single spark to ignite a new global conflagration. In the aftermath of a Nazi victory, the United States, the self-proclaimed beacon of freedom, would find itself adrift in a world consumed by darkness. The Atlantic Ocean, once a conduit for trade and cultural exchange, would transform into a vast, isolating moat. The fear of Nazi aggression, of infiltration and subversion would permeate every aspect of American society. Imagine a nation transformed into an armed camp, its citizens living under the constant spectre of war. The principles of liberty and individual rights, once held sacrosanct, would be eroded by the exigencies of national security. Imagine a world where the pursuit of knowledge is not celebrated but feared, where creativity is stifled and intellectual curiosity is met with suspicion. The arts, once a vibrant tapestry of human expression, would become a tool of propaganda, forced to conform to the rigid dictates of the Nazi regime. Literature, film, music, all would be subject to the suffocating censorship of the Third Reich, their creators silenced or co-opted. Universities, once bastions of free thought and debate, would be transformed into echo chambers of Nazi ideology, their halls patrolled by informants eager to report any deviation from the party line. The very act of thinking critically, of questioning the status quo, would be deemed dangerous, even subversive. The world we inhabit today, marked by its imperfections and injustices, is a testament to the sacrifices made by those who fought tirelessly against the tyranny of Nazi Germany. Their victory, hard-won and ultimately fragile, serves as a stark reminder of the precious and precarious nature of freedom. We must never forget the horrors that could have been, the darkness that threatened to engulf the world, the legacy of World War II, a conflict that forever altered the course of human history, is a legacy of resilience, of courage, and of the indomitable spirit of those who dared to resist. What would our world have lost? What irreplaceable facets of humanity, of innovation, of simple joy, if freedom had fallen to tyranny? It's a question worth pondering, not as an exercise in morbid fascination, but as a stark reminder of what's at stake every single day.